one of the big losers. The celeb crowd. We touched on this yesterday. Beyonce, loser. Oprah, huge loser. J-Lo, you matter. Loser. No one cares what you think. If you want to talk to me about what it is you're doing to your skin, I'm all in. Go on. You got my full attention. If you want to tell me who to vote for or what's happening with the economy or immigration, please sit down. No one cares. We would like to know what happened between you and Ben Affleck, what happened between you and P. Diddy, exactly what you're doing to your butt, and how you keep your skin so glowy. That will end the list of things we care about J-Lo's opinion on. Taylor Swift, sorry, you effed around and found out. You do not have unlimited influence. The young girls love you because you sing songs about men who break up with you, and they can all relate to that. No one gives two shits about your political opinion, so you should take it and stuff it. That could be your next song. Stuff it. That's what the American electorate told me. We could play it on Thanksgiving as we do that to our turkeys. They will remind us of you and your political opinions. Julia Roberts, who outed herself not only as a leftist, which we knew, but as somebody who, and by the way, she's also a husband stealer. She stole the husband that she has right now in a reported affair. So, okay, maybe don't be the voice of the ad in which we talk about women betraying their husbands by injecting deceit into the marital relationship, because in the leftist view, marriages are not about honesty and talking about one's differences and agreeing to disagree on certain dicey issues, but they're about lying if you cannot persuade your spouse to believe as you do. And they believe this so strongly, you put it in an ad and ran it everywhere. The ad also portrayed Republicans as unattractive, bumpkiny, backward losers. And as it turns out, that's what even the sitting president of the United States thinks about them, that they're garbage. The possible next vice president, at least as of last week, Tim Walz, thinks they're Nazis. So she does speak for a large collective, and that collective has done this to her. I'm giving the bird to my listening audience. So Julia Roberts, yet another big loser, and her pal George Clooney, who did something similar for another ad, same. You got Joe Biden out. How'd it work out for you? How'd that go? Maybe you should have said something a little earlier, like when you attended that fundraiser and you and your buddies at Pod Save America saw he was totally incompetent and non-compos mentis, and you all STFU to try to save his political fortunes. Meanwhile, it was tick-tock, tick-tock. The clock was ticking. You blew it, and only when it was too obvious to deny did you say anything. So you, too, are a big loser, sir. Hope your billions are keeping you happy today, bringing you comfort. That brings me to the Lincoln Project. I mean, I might have to move them above Liz Cheney. I think I would, but they had no standing to lose. So I don't know. When you start off a bottom feeder and then you remain a bottom feeder, I don't know, can you go from like catfish to crab? I'm going to have to consult an oceanologist to find out, like, how does it work at the bottom of the ocean with the true bottom feeders? I have got to show you Rick Wilson. This is him, the day of the vote, with this star prediction on what was about to happen.
I have a couple of things to think about for tomorrow, everybody. Number one, Trump's going to lose. He's going to lose badly. He's going to be wrecked. I don't know what the electoral college count's going to be at the end of this, but it's going to get loud and it's going to get hard for him. Their panic is extraordinary. Their events in Georgia and North Carolina are basically about as well attended as a Pokemon card trading convention in ass crack, Alabama. This is a campaign in free fall. It's really, really fucked up. Donald Trump is now in the same position that he described Hillary Clinton in 2016. He's weak. He can't finish his sentence. He's sick. He's meandering. He's probably dying at this point. His party is splitting apart. Yes, you MAGAs, I know MAGAs, I know. You guys are so intense. You believe everything that he says, every word that comes out of his mouth. I get it that you believe that. But guess what? He's been lying to you all along about a lot of things, and you're about to realize it tomorrow. Now, I want to say something to you, Donald,
Rick.
and your little minions, and your whole enabling class of the sort of MAGA influencer class. Donald, if you try to steal this election tomorrow, and we know you're gonna try, I promise you one thing: you will die in prison alone. Your family will be broken. Every property you've ever owned will be taken from you. Your chance of dying in prison is going to go way up if you do what you think you're gonna get away with. It's not going to work this time. It's just not. You're going to be it's going to be very tough, Donald. I would be super careful if I were you. I think really hard about the fantasies some of these jackoffs around you are selling you, and I think really hard about some of the bullshit that you're selling yourself.
He took the Acela to Crazy Town. It was the day before the election. Those predictions are worth about the same as Ann Seltzer of the Des Moines Register, whose career is in tatters today. These guys should never be listened to about anything ever again. And it was not just Rick Wilson, who, by the way, is also part of that infamous Don Lemon clip with these Republicans with their maps. Okay, the hateful person. George Conway in The Atlantic. America did this to itself. This is his post-election rage. The man elected president last night is a depraved and brazen pathological liar, a shameless con man, a sociopathic criminal, a man who has no moral or social conscience, empathy, or remorse. He has no respect for the Constitution and the laws he will swear to uphold. And on top of all that, he exhibits emotional and cognitive deficiencies that seem to be intensifying. He says, my own hope and belief about what would transpire last night was sadly and profoundly wrong. Like many, I have the emotional and intellectual flaw, if that's what it is, of assuming that people are wiser and more decent than they actually turn out to be. I feel chastened, distraught about my apparently naive view of human nature. You see, that is the problem with the guys of the Lincoln Project. They overestimated us. They thought we were all smarter and more decent, and they've been reminded that we are dumb and disgusting and unethical. Okay, that's good luck winning the next election. It's not going to work out so well for you, George and Rick. Look, it went, the Don Lemon thing, that's another one. He did live stream. Somebody told me that there's a Lincoln Project live stream from during the election. We're checking right now. Don Lemon did a live stream during the election. Let's just take a look at how that went.
What is it in the female psyche in America that makes it harder for even women to believe that a woman should be president?
You know, there is a lot in our society right now where women do feel pressured or are in a certain mindset where they may not vote for their best. Oh God, I don't even want to say it. They may not vote as they wish, or they may vote against things that would be good for women.
Oh my gosh, that's great. Thank you. Hey, Political Sis, thank you for joining us. Sorry, look, it's that everyone has had connectivity issue. So sorry about that.
That's okay.
Technical difficulties.
I was saying that I think within especially within my community that we really need to.
No, we're Democrats. We want everybody to have everything.
They can't hear each other.
Our problem is that we are too open-hearted in a world that clearly, when you look at the votes, are very kind of narrow in how they think and their worldview.
Let me jump in here, because I think this says, as I've been saying, this says more about America. This is what America wants. We keep saying America's not this, America's not that. The Republican Party's not this, the Republican Party's not that. It is. It is. The Republican Party is MAGA now. America is a racist, sexist country. Let's just face it. I mean, I don't believe that there is a lie there. So, I just don't. We have any lemon heads we can talk to?
Oh, I see. See, you guys wasted your time with me on a broadcast that now has over 4 million viewers. You should have been watching Don Lemon call you all racists and sexists and lemon heads, if you happen to be one of his fans, as they navigated through overwhelming technical difficulties, dings from other people's computers, weird voices in the background that were drowning out their message. I think it was God. I'm not going to lie. I think the Lord intervened to try to save his followers from that brain damage that he was inflicting on them. It's so fun to watch. I haven't even gotten to the New York Times article. This is too fun. I need to stay with this for another minute. Okay, while we're on the hysterical reaction, what kind of a discussion would be complete if we didn't go to our old friend Keith Olbermann and see how he's handling the news? Let's check in.
A note about this podcast, it will continue, but not right now.
Oh, God.
Going to take the weekend off. I do think the podcast has suffered from being a little conservative. Needs to be a little bit more pointed. It also needs to be not 5 days a week. I'm getting old here. And probably not daily. So let's say this. I'm still working on this. I'll bring you at least 2 of these a week, and definitely, let's plan on this, a new one every Monday morning. Does that make sense? I mean, you don't want to hear more about this any more than I want to talk about this endlessly. When something interesting happens, something you may not have heard, something that has struck some memory or perhaps some insight within me, I will bring it to you. Because bluntly, if the vice president had won, I was going to retire. Or at least semi-retire. I can't do that now, God damn it. I mean, I need a nap.
Okay. So he throws out at the end he might have retired, but really he's not retiring, but he has to go from 5 days a week to 2 days a week because of Donald Trump. So there you have it. We are already making America great again. Little less of Keith Olbermann because of Donald Trump. If you are tired of the same old coffee from the big mega corporations pushing their woke agendas, listen up. It's time to take a stand and support a brand that truly embodies American values, Blackout Coffee. They stand with hardworking Americans who believe in family, faith, and freedom. They roast some of the most incredible coffee you will ever taste using only premium grade beans, roasted and shipped to you within 48 hours. And for the cold brew fans, Blackout Coffee is excited to announce the launch of their 2 new ready-to-drink cold brew coffee latte options. Don't settle for less. Make the switch to Blackout Coffee. Head on over to blackoutcoffee.com/MK or just use the code MK for 20% off your first order. blackoutcoffee.com/MK. The code is MK. Join the movement. Taste the difference. Remember, with every sip, you are supporting a brand that stands for America. Be awake, not woke. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.